At 79, Sally Field is opening up about one of the most important relationships in her life, the one she shared with Burt Reynolds. It is a story of love, heartbreak, and lessons learned, and for the first time, she has shared the truth that has stayed with her for decades. Before we get into her story, let us set the stage. Sally Field and Burt Reynolds were two of the biggest stars in Hollywood during the 1970s and 1980s. Their chemistry on screen was undeniable, and off-screen, their friendship and connection were just as strong. People loved to talk about them, and the media often wondered if they were more than friends. Sally has always been honest about her feelings and experiences. She has had a long and successful career, but she has never shied away from sharing her personal life, especially the moments that shaped her. When it comes to Burt Reynolds, she admits that their story was not always easy. Sally met Burt when she was young and full of dreams. He was charming, funny, and someone who could light up a room. For a time, their bond seemed unbreakable. But as Sally explains, sometimes love is not as simple as it looks in the movies. Sally says that she learned an important truth about relationships from Burt. It is not just about being together or enjoying each other's company. Sometimes, even when you care deeply about someone, the timing and circumstances can make a relationship impossible to keep. She remembers feeling a mix of happiness and sadness during her time with him. On one hand, Burt was a kind and caring friend, always ready to make her laugh or offer support. On the other hand, there were moments of frustration and confusion. Hollywood life was fast and full of challenges. Pressures from work, fame, and public expectations sometimes made it hard to maintain closeness. Sally has described Burt as a complex person. He could be full of energy and charm, but he also had his struggles. She realized that loving someone does not always mean staying together. Sometimes, it means understanding them, respecting their choices, and knowing when it is time to step back. This realization was hard for Sally. She had hoped for a lifelong relationship, and she deeply cared for Burt. But she came to understand that true love also includes acceptance. Accepting that people have their own paths, and sometimes, those paths do not align with ours. Now, at 79, Sally reflects on Burt with a mixture of fondness and clarity. She remembers the laughter they shared, the fun on movie sets, and the quiet moments they spent talking. But she also acknowledges the pain of letting go. Sally says that Burt taught her an important lesson, that it is okay to love someone and still let them go. This might sound simple, but it is one of the hardest things to do. Many people struggle with this in their own relationships, holding on to the past or wishing things could have been different. Sally's honesty shows that even stars face these challenges. She also talks about the admiration she had for Burt as a professional. He was dedicated to his craft, always working hard to be the best he could be. Watching him perform inspired her to push herself and grow in her own career. That respect and admiration never went away, even after their romantic connection ended. Sally shares that life after Burt was not easy. She faced heartbreak, but she also found strength in her own journey. She discovered that happiness can come in many forms. It does not always come from being with someone else, sometimes it comes from knowing yourself and your own worth. In interviews, Sally has mentioned that she does not regret her time with Burt. She believes that every relationship teaches us something. Her experience with him helped her understand more about love, patience, and forgiveness. While the world often focused on their on-screen chemistry, Sally reminds us that real relationships are much more complicated and personal than what people see on the outside. Looking back, Sally's story with Burt Reynolds is a reminder that love can be both beautiful and difficult. It is a mix of joy, learning, and sometimes letting go. Her words show maturity and insight that come only from living through life's challenges. At 79, she can share her story openly, without fear or shame. She shows us that even after heartbreak, it is possible to find peace. She hopes that people watching can understand that love is not always about being together forever, it is about growth, respect, and understanding. Sally Field's truth about Burt Reynolds is both touching and inspiring. It reminds us that relationships are complex, that love comes in many forms, and that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let someone go while still holding them in your heart. If there is one message from Sally's story, it is this: love deeply, learn from every experience, and do not be afraid to embrace life as it comes. In the end, the lessons we learn from those we care about shape who we become. Sally Field's journey with Burt Reynolds is a story of love, respect, and understanding. A truth she finally shared, reminding us that some relationships change us forever.